Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Scott here from Woke Society's here to drop another packed full episode of amazing content. We have a lot to go over today. We are going over the boatload of Q drops that came in yesterday. We have over 25 of them. Joe Biden finally speaks out about Tara Reade. And if you guys haven't heard, the governor from Michigan is going to be sued for trying to extend the stay-at-home orders. But good thing here, one of my buddies has an inside video of the war room of the governor's office of Michigan. So let's take a look at that, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the intro.
Im Süden hat der Gegner Zossen genommen und stößt auf Stahnsdorf vor. Der Feind operiert jetzt am nördlichen Stadtrand zwischen Frohnau und Pankow und im Osten ist der Feind bis zur Linie Lichtenberg-Marsdorf-Karlshorst gelangt.
Mit dem Angriff Steiners wird das alles in Ordnung kommen.
Mein Führer, Steiner konnte nicht genügend Kräfte für einen Angriff massieren. Der Angriff Steiner ist nicht erfolgt.
Es bleiben im Raum Keitel, Jodel, Krebs und Butter. Das war ein Befehl!
Thanks for tuning in to the land of the real. But it's like the Twilight Zone, the plan is surreal. It'll blow your mind when the plan is revealed. Bring it all to light, all the plans they conceal. Grab your flashlight, it's time to go down the rabbit hole. It's dark and hell is hot, dealing with satanic souls. The tide is turning, patriots are now in control. Apply aggressive pressure right now until they fold. Stay woke, open up your eyes and keep them peeled. All they do is lie, realize how everything is real. Through Project Looking Glass, the future is revealed. Future proves past, but there won't be any deals. Woke Society's fam, you know it's time to go. Grab your popcorn, sit back now, enjoy the show. Severe and non on the mic, so come on, enjoy the flow. The wave is rising and you know it's only gonna grow.
Yes. Thanks for joining the Woke Society's YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. It's Scott here, your host. Let's get into the shameless plugs and we'll get right into the content, shall we? That video, by the way, that video was made, let me see, my buddy Sees in Pixels. I'm going to put his tweet here in the bottom of the description so you guys can go follow him, and also he has a YouTube page. Go to his YouTube page and also subscribe. He made that video. It made me laugh. Hopefully it made you guys laugh. And that's why I was there. So here we go. Go to the YouTube Woke Society's page to like, share, comment, tell your friends and family. We are the news now. Let them know that this channel exists. You can go to my Patreon if you want to up your fandom. Become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, and you guys can join my tiers if you want to go even further than that. My BitChute is my backup channel. You can go there in case YouTube shuts me down, and of course my wokesocieties.com webpage, where you can find all my podcasting links there, and you can get my content on the go. Always updated, always backed up in case I am shut down for whatever reason. And if you guys want as well, go to my store. You guys can purchase all my cool woke and Q swag that you can find there. We are going to be working on shirts, hoodies, and hopefully hats very soon. And of course, you guys can always donate to the show with the one-time gift to PayPal. All right. So yes, so I started off with that video of the Michigan governor for a reason, because she was trying to extend the stay-at-home order, and we're going to get into this. Just some real quick news, then the rest of the episode is going to be Q drops and all that good stuff. So Michigan House won't extend state of emergency, votes to sue Governor Gretchen Whitmer instead. And again, I don't know how far she was trying to push this, if it was the 15th or the end of May, but we seem to be kind of coming out of this coronavirus hole that we've been in, the self-quarantine hole that we've been in for a while now. And the people aren't having it. People are protesting. In more and more states, people are coming out and protesting. Governors protesting local government, which is exactly what we need to actually make some change happen, to let them know we are not listening to this suppression anymore, because it's exactly what it is. We just we're going to get into Q dropped another drop as I was setting this up, which we're going to get into just a moment. And yeah, so that's what happened with that. So that's why I played that video, because what's going on here, guys, it's absolutely terrible with these lockdowns and quarantines, and people have had enough. And right here it says, the Michigan House of Representatives declined to extend Governor Gretchen Whitmer's state of emergency another 28 days and instead voted on Thursday to sue her. So that's what she gets. That's what you get for being a douche. And that's that. So other news real quick. We're going to get into this as well. Brightbird, this is from Jeffries. This is Tara Reade's allegations needs to be investigated seriously. So the Democratic Party is now calling for an official investigation into Joe Biden. And it's absolutely fantastic news to see this happen. And we'll see what happens with that Me Too movement, because they've been pretty awfully quiet about this. Because again, everyone remembers what happened to Brett Kavanaugh. He got absolutely eviscerated by the media, but now that it's a Democrat involved with the scandal, the media in Hollywood seem to be super silent and not really listening to Tara Reade and what she has to say. And we saw that exemplified by Alyssa Milano, and she's hearing her, but she's not listening. Very, very key thing to remember there. So we got that. So he's being investigated, and I want to show here, Joe Biden is actually reportedly hiding the files, because Tara Reade asked to have the files released back from the early 90s of when all these sexual assaults were supposedly going on. And right here it says, operatives for Joe Biden's presidential campaign have reportedly looked through the secret Senate files that may potentially contain information about former aide Tara Reade's sexual assault allegation against the presumptive Democratic nominee. Reade, who worked for Biden at the time, claims that the then Delaware senator assaulted her in 1993 by forcibly penetrating her with his fingers. And operatives reportedly were sent by the Biden team to look through the files, obviously, because it's got all the juice, all the dirty stuff on Biden in this whole entire situation. So that's what's going on there. And if you guys didn't see, this morning, Joe Biden was actually on MSNBC, finally responding to this whole entire situation with Tara Reade. Now I'm going to play you the first minute, not the full 4 minutes, but this is exactly why, ladies and gentlemen, Biden will never be the president of this country. Take a watch.
The first is about your University of Delaware records. Do you agree with the reporting that those records were supposed to be revealed to the public and then they were resealed for a longer period of time until after you leave, quote, public life? And if you agree with that, if that's what happened, why did that happen?
Because, look, the fact is that there's a lot of things of speeches I've made, positions I've taken, interviews that I did overseas with people, all of those things relating to my job. And the idea that they would all be made public in the fact while I was running for public office, they could be really taken out of context. The papers are position papers. They are documents that existed and that when I, for example, when I met with Putin or when I met with whomever, and all of that to be fodder in a campaign at this time, I don't know of anybody who's done anything like that. And
this could all be used as fodder or taken out of context because these things could be made public record. That is a big line of BS. He knows what's in those records. He knows it'll crush him politically, and not just politically, but the crazy thing is here, I forgot to actually show it. I saw it in a Discord. There was a person that was tweeting. They saw the FC something where they were showing how many donations had to be given back so far to people who've been asking for their money back that donated to the Biden campaign after these allegations. And it's a lot. It was a ton. I don't know where that tweet went. I don't know if it's on my lineup here, but I'm not going to waste time finding it because we have to get into all the Q drops. But he was on this morning. I was hoping he was going to soil himself like he always does, but he actually didn't do as bad today. He stumbled a little bit, but this guy's done. This guy's done. And it's more ammo for the Trump team. And what else? What does Biden have to offer? that can honestly challenge Trump at this point. Really nothing. So that is keeping you guys updated on that. So let's jump into the Q drop, shall we? So as you guys know, Q was on a drop rampage yesterday. The Q team was going off. They dropped over 25 drops yesterday, and they dropped one this morning. And who knows, by the time I'm done recording this, they could be dropping more. But let's get into it. The first one we have here is from 4010, Proclamation on Law Day. This is pretty much just saying the White House, or the Trump was making, I think it was yesterday or today, May 1st, 2020 as Law Day. So it says in here in the White House proclamation, now therefore I, Donald Trump, President of the United States of America, in accordance with public law 87-20 as amended, do hereby proclaim May 1st, 2020 as Law Day USA. I urge all Americans, including government officials, to observe this day by reflecting upon the importance of the rule of law and our nation and displaying the flag of the United States in support of this national observance, and especially urge the legal profession, the press, and the radio, television, and media industries to promote and to participate in the observance of this day. So pretty cool. Trump just pretty much signed to let it, wants people to remember the law of the land. And I don't, it's certainly good timing for all this because of everything going on with General Flynn. I think that was definitely a reason why this came out now, but that was pretty cool. So Q put the picture of the 3 flags was they posted a few days before. So now we know what that was in reference to, and not the 3 stars that we saw in a previous post, maybe related to General Flynn. So 40-11, calm before the storm. So we have a tweet here that was linked by Q. Crossfire hurricane, crossfire typhoon, crosswind, classified 1-99, unreleased, redacted. You didn't think the statement by POTUS, calm before the storm, was just random, did you? Transparency brings accountability. And this here was the document that was linked in the tweet here. And this is from Benjamin Weingarten. It says, per new Flynn document dump, one wonders who is Crossfire Typhoon. And right now, I believe the Anons are still working on this on the current bread to try to figure out who this is. People are looking at Corsi, and I saw nothing with sauce on this, but maybe Corsi, the woman from the 9/11 Commission report and all that stuff. That's just a name I'm dropping here. There's no sauce for that, so that is not fact at all. But Q was just reminding us, calm before the storm. That is not just a saying, a random thing. Transparency brings accountability. 4012. We're going to need a much bigger meme once this is finished. And sorry for the guys out in podcast land. This is a meme. It's called American Coup d'etat with the flip upside down inverse American flag with all of the Spygate actors on this meme. And there's 1, 2, 3. There are 30 pictures here. Yes, I just count that myself. That was impressive. 30 pictures here of the people involved in this coup. And Q said, when this is finished, a much bigger graphic will be needed. Much bigger. Biggest political scandal in American history. Great to see. We are ready, Q, to see these people indicted. Let's continue here. And if I'm going a little too fast, it's only because there's over 25 drops to cover. So we will cover them all as fast as I can here. So we have 40-13. How come Democrats/liberals aren't coming to the defense of Tara Reade? And we know why, but this was a description that Q wanted to show. So this is a screenshot here of Nancy Pelosi here. And it looks like, I don't know if this was Q or a screenshot from the boards that someone used, but it was very good as far as the hidden messages that are inside these tweets. So we have from Nancy Pelosi taken, this was from this was September 16, 2018, the original meme here. And this was about Kavanaugh. So they pretty much replaced today's situation with the tweet, and we're going to see a video with Pelosi in just a minute here talking out of our ass here. So let's see what this says. So it says, the original tweet said, I applaud the courage of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, and it's crossed out that says Tara Reade, to come forward to share her story as we continue to learn more about these allegations against Judge Kavanaugh. That's crossed out with Joe Biden. We must ensure that Dr. Ford's, that's Reade's, right to justice and privacy are respected. And the hashtag was postpone the vote, and the new one is called hashtag choose someone else. And it's just great because that's exactly what it is if these people were being brutally honest. But it says, used as a political tool to attack the other side, weaponized, where are the pink hats? When you are awake, you are able to see clearly. And we're seeing it now because Hollywood and the Democrats are completely silent, and the media, on the Tara Reade situation, until just recently today that Joe Biden finally came out and answered some of the questions about this. So let's continue. Drop 4014. Why has the Democratic National Convention been pushed back a month to August? So remember, ladies and gentlemen, Q keeps asking, who does this benefit the most? We know this whole entire virus, this entire situation, we know it benefits the deep state, the Democrats a ton, China. It's pushing back trade deals with China. It's wanting the Dems to push out this mail-in voting, which we know is littered with fraud, and it's just not going to happen. So again, Q is bringing this up to remind us, why are they pushing back the Democratic convention? COVID-19 concern or strategic for last change of batter coming? Why was she saved from officially announcing? Why was she reserved for a last-minute change? So we're not sure who the she is yet. It could be Michelle, it could be Hillary, we're not sure yet, but I'm not going to read this whole thing. But again, Q is just saying, how do you limit test constitutional rights of people? How do you provide cover for the state governments to adopt new voter laws? It's just Q team showing us what the deep state is doing. They are biding for time. They are trying to push this out as long as possible to try to do damage control, because right now they're on fire. They're on absolute fire, and they can't do anything about anything what's going on right now. And this was the article that Q linked. The Democratic National Convention was pushed back a month to mid-August, just letting us know that this was going on. But again, who does this benefit the most? It's the Democrats. Drop 4015. D's and big tech doing everything possible to control the COVID-19 narrative. And don't we know this so well, ladies and gentlemen? YouTubers, anybody that's a truther on Twitter, Facebook, we are under super heavy suppression. But Q wanted us to point this out to show us here. They screenshotted here, it looks like from yesterday. YouTube, this is from Q Search Notables. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says anything that goes against the WHO is a violation of the YouTube policies, which we know. But not only that, Adam Schiff wrote this letter here, and his tweet that he put out with the letter says, misinformation is dangerous. Misinformation about public health is deadly. I sent a letter to the CEOs of Google, YouTube, and Twitter, using them to proactively inform users when they're interacted with medical misinformation. They can help save lives. And again, and then the other one here, the last clip, watch Adam Schiff claim to be using parody to facilitate lies. And we know he's full of lies, but this is what Q said here. Head of House Intelligence Committee Adam Schiff demands Google, YouTube, Twitter step up the authoritative censorship on silencing. And on Thursday, Representative Adam Schiff, the most dishonest and compulsive liar in Congress, sent a letter to the CEO of Google, YouTube, and Twitter. This is from the article, not Q. And Twitter to urge them to use their authoritative powers to censor and silence voices during the coronavirus pandemic. Last week, YouTube CEO told CNN the company would silence anyone who strayed from the official WHO policy. And you guys saw that. I showed you guys the doctors from the Zero Hedge article that were being silenced. They had real data. Those are actual opinions, and they were being silenced by YouTube. Their video was taken down. The viral video was taken down, and that was that. But Schiff sent these letters off to Google and YouTube and Twitter, and Q said control the population, and then the word sheep in the kill box, control the narrative. And that is exactly what they're doing. They are still desperately trying to hang on to this narrative, and it's not going to work. 4016, how far back does the CIA and FBI corruption go? Was DNC hacked by Russia? CIA Brennan Force, Seth Rich Internal, let's see what DL here, David Loftman, hand-to-hand pass USA, CrowdStrike code insert. If FBI chain of command was corrupt, what other investigations were corrupted? Who did they provide cover for? How far did it go back? And it's just a logical question. If this whole entire thing with Flynn, which we know it's out in the open now, the public knows exactly what happened. If this was corrupted, what other things what other investigations are corrupted as well? And we saw articles coming out all over the place talking about how this is almost standard practice for the FBI to push people into lying to do cover-ups. And I saw some articles that this could even be gone back as far as the 50s, that the FBI has been involved with things like this. And a reason why I've been saying for a long time, these three-letter agencies, the CIA, FBI, they need to go. We don't need them. We don't need this governing force with all the states. Our own states can take care of each other. The states can take care of themselves. We don't need these corrupt organizations. So 4017, ignored typo in previous drop. So it looks like Q made an error with something he was going to type. Error was ×2 on the move. And we can continue on here. So 4018 meme in it together. We've seen Q put this. We've seen this picture before. It's the American soldiers putting up the American flag on Iwo Jima. And it's just that meme here, put it in it together, as we always are. 4019, video mashups of Nancy Pelosi's extreme hypocrisy regarding Tara Reade versus Christine Blasey Ford. Now, check this out. This is hilarious. This Tim Young here got Q. This was an absolute amazing video. Nancy looks like she's being held here because she's trashed out of her mind, but that's how she always looks like. But let's take a look at this video, and we'll see the comparison between how she spoke about Tara Reade, about Christine Ford, and Tara Reade. Let's take a watch.
The investigation of Justice Kavanaugh when a very similar allegation on him.
Respect your question. I don't need a lecture or a speech. Here's the thing. I have complete respect for the whole movement. I have 4 daughters and 1 son, and there's a lot of excitement around the idea that women will be heard and be listened to. There is also due process, and the fact that Joe Biden is Joe Biden.
And you guys get the point. I'm not going to play the whole video. Joe Biden is Joe Biden. There's due process. We have to go. We can't just make all these accusations. We have to go through the process, right? You guys saw the difference in the time periods here. She's saving face for Joe Biden because when it was Republican, they went all out and destroyed Kavanaugh's life. And now that it's Joe Biden, everyone's pulling back. No one gives a shit about Tara Reade. None of these people do. It's all being politicized, and that's what's happening right now. So Q is pointing this out, and Nancy looks like Nancy, as always, the drunk woman that she is. So let's continue here. 4020. Hashtag fire Chris Hayes trends on after MSNBC. Host covers Biden sexual assault allegations, and it's a good thing Chris Hayes here doesn't have a Twitter because he would have been absolutely eviscerated. But Q linked a Hill article here. When they can no longer control you, they remove you. Control the narrative. Control of you, and I thought this was one of the best things I saw yesterday. The news is fake. The war is real. And we know Q has been talking about the silent war going on, and there is a huge war going on behind the scenes, and everyone that's in the know knows what's going on Twitter and social media and these social platform landscapes. It is an absolute information war right now. But this is the article that Q is linking. Let me try to pause it because I'm going to try to play here. It was just the MSNBC host Chris Hayes sparked backlash from the left when he became the first primetime host of the network to cover a former aide sexual assault allegations against the presumptive Democrat presidential nominee Joe Biden with the hashtag fire Chris Hayes trending on Twitter. And we're seeing it now. When they get caught, they silence you or they remove you. And this is what's happening with Chris Hayes. People are waking up. And these people that were thought they were untouchable are now being touched. They're being touched. They're feeling the heat now. And it's absolutely fantastic to see. 4021. POTUS has seen the intelligence that the coronavirus originated from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Now, Q said here, think Signet. That signals intelligence. That's, text, emails, phone calls, stuff like that. Think CIA. Think double agents. China thought they eliminated all in-country assets. The link here to New York Times article. Some things are better left untold. Public truths of some events force wars. World War III prevent. Hello, Feinstein. And here we are. Feinstein's back in the Q drops. And what are they talking about? Donald Trump yesterday was talking that he has very high percentage thinking that obviously the virus is coming. The virus came from this Wuhan lab. And here we are from John Roberts that says he has seen intelligence that gives him a high degree of confidence that the coronavirus originated from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Thought he would not go into detail. I can't say. He can't say because the investigation's not over, but this isn't news. We've known this for a long time. But Q wanted to point this out. But what's scarier here is this New York Times article talking about the CIA in China killing these informants. And here it is, killing CIA informants, China crippled U.S. spying operations. And this was an article back in May of 2017, which was a very hot month for a lot of activity behind the scenes with the deep staters, which we have seen in the Flynn notes. This is basically just talking about the Chinese government systematically dismantled our CIA spying operations in the country starting in 2010. And what does Q talk about? Q talks about infiltration instead of invasion. You can't just have outside forces infiltrate the United States. It's not. It'll be a disaster for any country that would try at this point. But Q's talking about having World War III prevented, public troops to some events force wars. And Q's just pointing this out that maybe something was diverted. I'm not sure, but this China was dismantling our CIA apparently since 2010. But the media and everyone wants to focus on Russia. Chinese government is the true enemy, the true enemy, the CCP, not the people. And I want to point out that distinction, but let's continue here. 4022. Matters of national security. Q just screenshots the previous drop about one we just covered. And Q says matters of national security. 4023, mainstream media refuses to cover massive story about the FBI malfeasance regarding Flynn. And we're going to see that here. This is from Ronna McDaniel. Yesterday, a massive story broke about the FBI malfeasance at the dawn of the real Donald Trump's administration. How many times did the mainstream media mention it during their shows? And look at that. CNN, 0. CBS, 0. ABC, NBC, MSNBC, 0. 0, ladies and gentlemen. 0 times. And now it's completely obvious to the public what's really going on here. And now we're seeing the media backtrack saying that, Flynn hasn't won the war yet. He was still implicated. He still lied. They're hanging on by a thread right now. But Q is pointing this out. The public, this is 4024. The public must see the truth for themselves. Sometimes you can't tell the public the truth. You must show them. A deeply entrenched enemy who controls the vast majority of communications is only defeated by game theory. And this is why I titled the episode this. So before we get into that, what exactly is game theory? Game theory is the branch of math. There's many definitions for this. This is one that I thought was most relative to what we're talking about. So the branch of mathematics concerned with the analysis of strategies for dealing with competitive situations where the outcome of a participant's choice of action depends critically on the actions of other participants. Game theory has been applied to context in war, business, and biology. And this is why when I see impatient people every single day tweeting at me, every single day DMing me in YouTube comments, this isn't fast enough. We're not seeing the arrest. This plan has to be played out perfectly. There are multiple levels and layers to what is going on behind the scenes. That's why Q has mentioned this word game theory before. It's a chess game. This has to be done by the book, and this is why it has to be drawn out so long. There can be no kinks in the plan because the media, they are the enemy. They will try to expose it and discredit anything that we are doing, anything that is going on right now. So sometimes for the public, you can tell people, and I know this myself because I've shown people proof, solid proof with sauce. Some people honestly just don't care. They don't care, and they want to live in their matrix world. But sometimes they just have to see it for themselves, and that's what does it for them. That's the red pill. It was a great drop. 4025. Breaking. President Trump says he would be open to bringing General Flynn back to his administration. And here's a screenshot where it says Trump administration version 2. And it was just a tweet here talking about this. And my God, what a team they would be. They were already an all-star team before this. But now Flynn and Trump both have the same exact enemies. They both got their reputations were destroyed by the media. And now they have the same enemy. And you already know. Flynn's coming back. Trump's going to give him a big fat hug. And they're going to be like, yo, you ready? We're ready to fill Gitmo up. Let's go. 4026, James Corney will be served at justice. And this douchebag still tweeting out yesterday, and we're going to see this. This is why Q posted this here. It was a definition. Paint the roses red. So what is they talking about? So Q said, denied, justice will be served. Let's go to the tweet. Let's see here. This is one from James Comey. Comey tweeted this out. It was a picture of a red rose. He said, comforting sign of spring in our garden. And he was trending yesterday with 400,000 tweets, and for a good reason. But this is what Q wanted to put here for Paint the Roses Red. It says, to frantically attempt to cover up mistake with severe consequences, popularized by Alice in Wonderland, which we have seen multiple times that Q has referenced. I accidentally broke my mom's favorite antique vase, so I had to paint the roses red. And Q said, denied. Justice will be served. So I don't know if these guys are going to be the first ones to go, but again, Q said the first indictment is going to be earth-shattering. It's going to wake up the world. Now, this is where things get a little hairy here. 4027. We're jumping back into the Obama era with John Brennan, the Muslim connections, and all this stuff here. This is crazy. So 4027, John Brennan, Iranian/Muslim connections. The title of the Q drop. Q just links a picture here of Obama here. It looks like in Middle Eastern attire. I don't know what you would call that, but obviously not, it's definitely Middle Eastern. There's a tweet here that was linked. And it's a tweet here from Greg Katsios. It says infiltration instead of invasion. And it's a retweet of a video by Deep State Exposed here. And this is when Brennan speaks about his Muslim faith in fluent Arabic. And I didn't know Brennan had a Muslim faith. That was news to me. Watch this.
But for more than 3 decades, I have also had the tremendous fortune to travel the world. And as part of that experience, to learn about the goodness and beauty of Islam. As a college student in the 1970s, I spent a summer traveling through Indonesia, taking in the wonderful landscape, culture, and people of Java and Bali. Despite my long hair, my earring, and my obvious American appearance, I was welcomed throughout that country in a way that is reflection, tremendous warmth of Islamic cultures and societies. Like the president during his childhood years in Jakarta, I came to see Islam, not how it is often misrepresented, but for what it is, how it is practiced every day by well over 1 billion Muslims worldwide, a faith of peace and tolerance and great diversity.
There it is.
ساكن في الشرق الأوسط تقريبا 6 سنة. لكن الآن أنا أجل.
So you guys get the point. You guys get the point. Infiltration instead of invasion. We had Obama, who is the Muslim faith, Muslim Brotherhood, and also Brennan here talking about the Muslim connection. So Q is what we're going to be seeing here in just a moment is Q drawing connections. And I just looked at my phone while that was playing. Q dropped 4 more drops. So I'll try to get into those right at the end here. So that is that connection. And then Q just keeps going, establishing more connections. Lisa Page, Iranian connection. Let's see if I can find that here. Lisa Page, good riddance, but also God help us. My mother emigrated from Iran in her 20s to forge a better life for herself. Iran is smart and strategic in all of the world. Iran isn't an irrational actor, but they have the pride of a 5,000-year-old culture. I fear they are going to hit back in a way to remind America that they are real and an independent country. That's nice, Lisa. You're screwed anyways, but no one cares what you're saying at this point. So that Lisa's Page mother, Iranian. Peter Strzok, Iranian connection. I'll see if I can pull this up here. I don't even know if I can blow this up. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. I can't really read that. It says America as a country is despised because it is seen as a supporter of the Shah of Iran, but individual Americans were treated well in respect to the crisis in Iran, according to a former Gilman. So this is I guess a picture here of Peter Strzok here with this article talking about Iran. It says, I like very much to go back to Iran, said Strzok, who spent 2 terms of military service and 7 months as a civilian in the country. On the issue of treatment of Americans in Iran, Strzok, who is support unit manager for Bill Helicopter Incorporated, said the resentment of America was because Iranians liked, and then the article drops there. But again, Iranian connection with Peter Strzok. Valerie Jarrett, Iranian connection. We go to Britannica here. Valerie Jarrett was born November 14, 56. This was also Obama's handler, which I found out yesterday. American lawyer, businesswoman, and politician who was a senior advisor to U.S. President Barack Obama. That's just a nice way of saying handler. Bauman was born in Iran and spent much of her childhood traveling abroad, as her father was a physician who assisted developing countries in establishing healthcare systems. In 1963, her family settled in Chicago, which would make sense because I guess that's where she and Obama hooked up. But again, another connection to Iran. And this is what Q is pointing out. Democrats silent about, this is 4031, Democrats silent about the foreign hack on Congress by the Awan brothers. And again, this is a Daily Caller article talking about the Awan IT scandal. And it's not good news for the Democrats. That's still ongoing news. We're not going to dive into that. 4032, Obama's hidden Iran deal giveaway. This is a link here to a Politico article talking about Obama's hidden Iran deal giveaway. And we know what they did with Iran with all that money they gave, the nuclear deals, all these shady stuff that went on. This was an article from 4/24/17. Q is reminding us of what happened. And 4033, this was even worse. Video of Obama taking credit for training ISIL fighters. And when you go to this tweet, this is the one that he's referring to. Watch this.
Said before, this aspect of our strategy was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers tribes on Anbar province.
We're speeding up training forces of ISIL fighters. We're speeding it up. Crazy stuff. Infiltration instead of invasion. This is what they're talking about. 4034, Michigan senator calls out Muslim Brotherhood civilization jihad plot against America. And it linked an article here from michiganradio.org. Let's see here if that was it. Did I even click it? There it is. Yep. Tensions flare as Senate floor over GOP senators Muslim Brotherhood remarks. And it's just an article talking about how there was tension because people were realizing there was a Muslim Brotherhood connection here with Obama. And it looks like Senator Patrick Kalbach was the one calling it out. And nobody was listening. Kalbach did not mention Abdel El-Sayed in his floor speech today, but he did reiterate his belief that there is a civilization jihad plot against America furthered by the Muslim Brotherhood, which we just read right here. So people were talking about it, but they were silenced. Nothing happened. 4035, Mark Levine, the Muslim Brotherhood has infiltrated our government. It's called Barack Obama. And this was an article that Q linked here from January 31st, 2013. Again, pointing it out that the infiltration was occurring. 4036, Michael Bachman called out the infiltration by the Muslim Brotherhood back in 2012. And again, this link to our boy M2 Madness, as he always does. This was the video right here. There it is.
In the halls of our United States government by the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood has been found.
Whoops, sorry guys. Either way, I think you guys get it. The Muslim Brotherhood was called out back in 2012, and it was all Barack Obama. But here it is. 4037. Q says one step at a time. And that's all we're doing. It's one step at a time. It's the slow wheels of justice, but hey, we got all the time in the world right now. I'm okay with that. 4038, James Clapper degraded the true threat imposed by the Muslim Brotherhood. And here's an article for Fox News. It is time for Intelligence Director Clapper to resign. James Clapper is a man who served his country with magnanimous distinction. He is an intellectually brilliant leader, but we know what Clapper's all about. And he was asked to resign back. This was in 2011 that this article came out. And the last one, I'm going to refresh this page right now, and you guys are going to see all the new Q drops. But to the color bugle call, this is a video here of American flag waving in the air. and Q linked here to the army. It looks like to the color, and it's the song right here. So that is where I originally was going to end the episode today, but let me just refresh real quick and see what we have. You guys are getting more bonus content. So 4040 was the one I saw before I recorded. So this was influenza deaths are being attributed to COVID-19 to increase fear, panic. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a picture of COVID-19 deaths as of 4/11. And look at that number. Just COVID deaths were 11,356. And it says deaths from all causes 569,403. But guys, we shut down our country for 11,356. Shut it down. This can never happen again. This is completely backfired on the deep state. And all it's doing is it's just exposing the Democrats even more. And now even my liberal friends are coming to me saying, yo, what's going on here? It's happening. It's happening. And everyone I talk to that's part of this movement, their liberal friends are asking what's going on. It's so cool to see. But 11,000 deaths, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we shut our country down for. This can never happen again. So again, 4041 chart showing steep drop off in weekly pneumonia deaths. Why are children immune to COVID-19? How many children die from influenza each year? Why are elderly more at risk for COVID-19? How many elderly die from influenza each year? So it looks like COVID just basically replaced one of our normal seasonal flus, influenza, and those numbers just dropped. So where do those go? Where did those go? Are you guys seeing what's going on here? It's just laughable at this point. Why are influenza medications effective at treating COVID-19? Q and 4043 de facto standard. You gotta love it. You got to love it. And it just makes me so happy seeing all this go on. So that is the show, ladies and gentlemen. Got that in with 41 minutes. So yes, game theory was the name of this episode. There are multiple layers going on, multiple fights on different fronts happening that we can't see, we may never know about, but we have to continue doing our part here on the YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining the episode and watching the content. So if you can, again, go to the YouTube Woke Society's page. It's blowing up, ladies and gentlemen. We added almost 1,000 subscribers within the last day or two. We're closely approaching 30,000. So hit that like button, subscribe, share, tell your friends and family about this channel. And go to my Patreon if you want to increase your fandom and the BitChute and all that good stuff. No more of the shameless plugs for right now. I gotta hop off. I gotta see what the rest of the day brings. So that is that, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for joining. Remember, I'm going to have Methods on the show live on Tuesday night. That is going to be an epic show. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, stay woke.